Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to the Wendell Elamine James Show. Today we have special guests here today. We want to bring on the brothers and the sister, Hamza and what's your name?
Najma.
Najia. Excuse me, I'm kind of hard on names, but we want to bring on the brother and the sister uh, to the show and welcome you to the show this evening.
Thank
Uh,
you.
my brother, how you doing?
Alhamdulillah.
Welcome home.
Alhamdulillah. Praise Allah.
Yes. How long you been gone?
41 years.
41 years. And you went to the prison for what crime?
Murder, kidnap.
Or the kidnap. You did 41 years. Where'd you start your time?
Where or when?
Where'd you start your time?
Started my time in DVI, Tracy.
Okay. Okay. And at what time in your incarceration did you feel that you had to do something different with your life?
That was early on. I say maybe I got married in '76, so that after 2 years in prison, I knew that
You said you got married in '76.
yes,
Okay. Okay.
yeah, me and the sister got married
You
in
got
19,
married.
me and Sister Najma, we got married in 1976.
So you got the sister here with you today. Let me ask you, my sister. You know, and I've been thinking about this all morning. You know, you waited for this brother for 41 years.
Well, from the outside, it would look like I was waiting. Um, and for myself, I wasn't waiting. I married him in 1976, and in 1976, he became my husband, so there was nothing to wait for. I was his wife. So, and had I journeyed with him in the spirit of waiting, I probably would not be sitting here right now. So I'm here because I married him. I'm his wife. I love him. And yes,
So you
41 years of journey.
so you took those vows seriously.
Yes,
Took those vows seriously.
I did.
Wow. And did you know the brother before you went to prison?
Yes, I've known him since I was 14.
Pardon me?
Yes.
Since you was 14.
We met when we were 14 years old.
Okay, this is a story this is a story that got to be told. Society, we have to hear this story. This woman, this queen, waited for this man 41 years, and they didn't just meet in prison. Okay, a lot of times we get on shows and we hear about, men meeting women in prison, and they become a husband and wife in prison. But this woman waited for this man for 41 years, not marrying him in prison because they met in prison. They was junior high school lovers before he went to prison. So this is a story that got to be told. We want to hear about this. Yes, my brother,
Yes.
you got this after 41 years you did in prison. We want to back up a little bit. We want to take you in prison. You're doing your time in prison. Okay, you went to prison for murder. Okay, you went into a system where you really didn't know nothing about. Okay, you had to adjust to the prison living. How'd you do that?
It was it was shock treatment at first. You know, at 19-year-olds going into the system at that time, the system was way different than it is now. You had a lot of political prisoners in prison. You know, you had the Black Panthers, SLA. You know, this matter. So it was a different system then, but it was a learning process. It was like going to school, college, because it was men in prison then, and it was about getting developed. So it was awakening for me on all levels of my life, physically, mentally, and spiritually, and it was something that I think it was a part of my growth. You know, it was a growth period. I was soaking it up like a sponge. You know, and so the first 10 years was like a revelation. I became Muslim. I took Shahada. Right after I got married, I took Shahada.
You say you took Shahada. What does Shahada mean?
I became a Muslim.
Okay.
My wife became Muslim, and my children and people close to me and my family took Shahada as well, because I was propagating, doing dawah. And yeah, it was very stimulating time, you know, and it was, you know, we talking about the late '70s and early '80s, so it was very awakening, recognizing what was really happening, the process that was really happening to me. You know that, man, I'm in prison, and there's no guarantee that I'm gonna get out of here. You know.
Now, during your time, you know, at the time that you went to prison, there wasn't a lot of programs. There wasn't a lot of self-help programs. You know, you had to kind of like do your own thing to make it through the day. You know, there's a lot of killing going on, you know, on a daily basis. You know,
Yes.
so you had to kind of like make it to where you could make it to the other day coming. So how did you do that?
I took college courses. I went to college for a couple of years. Took vocational trades, and then I got involved in the IDL, inmate day labor, and that was my journey for like. I worked for them like 30-something years, 30ish.
You worked for inmate labor. Was it IDL for 30 years?
Yeah, for 30 years, prison construction.
Okay.
And but on the way, I took other vocational training, reupholstery, the bakery, dry cleaning. As I told you, I went to school. Bodybuilding, I had weights at the time, so I was involved. I stayed busy. You know, my time stayed busy. And then they had family visiting.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so
exactly.
Can I say something
Most
about that
definitely
also? At that time of his initial incarceration, the emphasis was on rehabilitation, right? So, and I guess he probably represented the onset of younger inmates coming into the system because he was 19 years old. Now, it's commonplace, you know, to have younger kids, you know, babies going to prison. But the emphasis was on rehabilitation, right? Not punishment. That changed in 1982. Then it was reversed. So inmates were encouraged to pick up a trade program. So those programs were there as opposed to what's been going on right now. So when a youngster like him entered the system, the older guys would say, "Get you something to do. You know, don't just sit around. Get involved. Learn a trade. You know, be useful." And that's what he did.
So the older generation kind of pushed you to do something that was productive in your life.
Yeah, I can share an incident with you. One day I was in Vacaville coming from the reception center. I was on overflow, waiting to go to DVI, and I was going to the yard. And I remember an older brother asked me one day, "Yeah, I said, where you headed?" I said, "To the yard." And as I passed, he said, "Hold up for a minute. You got a high school diploma?" And I looked at him like, "Huh?" You know. And I said, gave him a good set of distance. You know, he was a big brother.
Right.
And I said, "Yes, I have a diploma." He said, "All right." I said, "Hold up." I said, well, he walked away a little bit. I gave him some more distance. I said, I hollered back. I said, "Hey, G, why you ask me that?" He said, "Because if you didn't have a high school diploma, I wasn't going to allow you going to the yard." And so I looked at him.
You say he wasn't going to allow you to go to the yard.
Right. When I was high school diploma, I was going to be somewhere just studying. He wasn't going, and that was like that father thing there. That's how them brothers, they were real serious. But I said there was men in prison.
Right.
And they was in control at that time, you know. It was they ran everything, bed moves, whatever you say, they ran the show.
Yeah.
So that was
Yeah.
eye opening.
Right. That's just I want to get with you. I want to talk with you because you know you for you to do what you did, you're an inspiration. You know you really are. People talk about you, the couple that we have before us today. People talk about this couple. You know, and it's in the pipe about a woman staying with a man for 41 years in prison. It's unheard of. It's not done today. You know, they waited a couple of months, and then it's over with.
Mm-hmm.
But you waited for this man for 41 years. Can we talk to you? Can we leave the brother alone for a minute? Okay, and we want to hear you. Could you tell us what happened? How you do it? How you do it?
You know, I so here's how we built our marriage, right? It was different because it was behind prison walls, right? We didn't know anybody in our family incarcerated. My parents divorced when I was very young. His parents stayed together until they departed this world. And so we said we don't have anything to example by. What kind of marriage are we going to have? We both had the fundamental concept of marriage down. I didn't want my parents to split up. I loved my father. I loved my mother, and I wanted them to be married. So I was grounded in what the union was about. And so we, just kind of talked to each other and said, this is the kind of marriage we want. We have nobody to give us any pointers or tell us how to do this. So let's define how we're going to do this. And, I'm not being modest or anything, but I really mean it when I say being with him in the spirit of being his wife is what allowed me to journey with him, right? It allowed me to journey with him. It allowed me to walk through the world as a married woman, you know. And I didn't see any difference. The only difference that I saw was that he was incarcerated. That was the only difference. Nothing else changed. It was a marriage in every sense of the word, except physically he was somewhere else,
Somewhere else.
and that made it doable, right? But I never looked at our marriage as being handicapped or disadvantaged or anything. It was just I just took it natural. I just took it, as it was, and um, I've known him since I was 14. That helped for sure. We grew up together in a formative time. As teenagers, just getting to puberty. So we had a lot of experiences prior to getting married, and our families were close together too. So, which is one of the reasons why we met. But I had a lot of experience with him prior to marrying him. I knew who he was.
Brother Hamza, we want to ask you a few questions about your incarceration. You went to prison at an early age for a bad crime, right? You had to go into a system where it was madness, and like I say, on a daily basis, you didn't know whether you're gonna survive that day or not. But you made it through. You made it through. You went to different self-help classes to kind of get the information that you needed to better yourself, and you did everything that CDCR wanted you to do to be able to get back on this side of the fence, so to speak. Okay, so how many times did you go to board?
20 times.
20 times. 20 times. And you had to show the Board of Prison Terms that you had changed your life from who you were to who you are now. How did that come about? How did you do that after 21 times?
Very difficult. Very difficult. Each time seemed like it was always something that it was that I didn't reach some type of goal with the board. So after about maybe say the 14th or 15th time I went to the board, I had decided that I'm just going to work on me and get my business straight with Allah, with my Maker, and so I just I just looked at it. If I can get right with Allah, then everything else in my life would be right. As far as my relationship with my children, my woman, and the world, and that's what I did. It was just getting straight on all levels, just being upright as possible, vertical as possible. When I say that, I mean, no, I didn't have never cussed, didn't just try to keep myself in the company of good people, God-fearing people who was taqwa, who was God conscious, and just go around. I worked in hospice. When I got off work, I went to hospice to tend to people, and these things opened me up to see that. I was truly blessed just being, even though I was in prison for all them years, I'm looking at people who didn't get out of prison, who was sick, and I was able to attend to them and help them out. And I was the emir at the institution as well, the Muslim leader. And so all these responsibilities and seeing things were just like, just doing his work.
You say you was the emir. The emir, explain to the audience what is the emir?
The emir is the Muslim leader, the spiritual leader, the one who gives the khutbah, which is sermons on Friday, tend to the sick, tend to the flock, tend to the brothers, And me being a mayor, that wasn't only Muslims, but I tend to all the people who needed help. I look at the mayorship as being the leader of the whole land. You know, I looked at it. I tend to the Christians, the Catholics, anybody I could help because I was the mayor.
You didn't discriminate.
Oh, not at all. No, my record would show that.
That's right.
Just knowing that, just tending to people, knowing that that's what I want. If I was in that position, I want somebody to do me like that as well. You know.
Now, going in front of the Board of Prison term, they found you suitable for parole after 21 times. They what did that feel like when the day that you was found suitable?
Oh man, the lawyers. I had two lawyers. One was crying, and one was just overwhelmed, extremely elated. And me, I was in shock because I had asked the officer. There was two officers in there, and the board had dispersed and everything. It was going. I asked them, "What happened here?" They said, "You got a date." I said, "Who?" And so I was just in shock, and then. I don't know. It was just an overwhelming feeling, and just like something just lifted from me. You know, I had to put wet stuff in my pocket so I wouldn't gravitate. You know, leave off the ground. But it was a tremendous experience. And then as I reflected back, I just thought about her, and then I thought about my children, and I said, "Oh, man, let me go call her." You know, and
Finally.
yeah, and
Finally.
it was that was relief. But the real moments came. Let me, if I can go a little farther. The real moments came when I my first week out, because that's when I really seen her real clear. It's like a lot dropped this barrier, and you know, I was studious in doing prayers and all that in prison. I was, you know, number one man, just pray all the time, pray everywhere, canteen, wherever the prayer come in, you know, all that stuff. So when I got to the world and seen that my wife was holding things together with a Band-Aid, and realized the Lord revealed to me her station was higher than mine because she was doing more work than me, see. I cried the whole first week, every day. I was crying, man, what is you know, what's wrong now? You know, it was just because
Thankful. Think it out loud.
because it was so clear, you know. I told you, when, you know, everything in my life is just crystal clear now, you know. I don't have no problems, you know. And seeing things on this level, you know, the Lord opened me all the way up to see the things clear. I just, I'm seeing all my blessings and seeing her. I said, man, this moment is amazing, you know. As I told my brother last night when I was talking to him, he's in Atlanta. Man, this love is so powerful, it's scary. You know, this is you know, I don't want to let her down, you know. Right? So I'm trying to stay very vigilant and being upright and continue to just keep doing the right thing, so that just doing that, I think, would please her, you know, just, you know.
Being that you made it back to the world, what are you doing now with your life, my brother?
Hopefully I'll be employed next week, and God willing, and just praying and just trying to be a good husband and father, and good human being, good neighbor, a good person.
That's right.
You know, staying very tauber, a person who's always in repentance. Not forgetting the things I did, trying to get my record straight, all the way trying to make all my good deeds outweigh the bad deeds, get my scales together. I'm 60-ish, so I'm looking forward to making the latter part of my life the best part, you know, and leave a mark of something real tremendous, you know, using the early part of my life as a launching path on something, being a good story. You know, this man did that, but look, okay, something like that. You know, so if
I'm a firm believer that Allah take care of the servants.
Oh,
you serve Allah, Allah take care of service.
Oh yeah, by all means. Right.
Yes,
He never breaks his promise.
Right, exactly. You do what you're supposed to do, and
right. He always delivers. Right, he always delivers.
Right.
Right.
We plan, but he's the best of planners.
Who said that? That's right.
That's what it is. He's the best of planners. We supposed to
believe
do
it. I'm a witness to that.
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Well, it's proven that the, you know, what's before us today, what's before the artist today is proven. You know, your queen waited for all these years for you. My goodness, you have nothing other than to serve.
And that confirms, she in my life confirmed that he exists.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
You know, right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because, you know, I lost my good looks, don't have no money, and then so, you know, so I know
you got to be something else.
Right, he made it happen. Right, I did a lot.
I love God. Those who don't know got a problem.
Right,
You know,
right,
I'm a firm believer with that. And I want to thank you again for being here today. You know, we have to let people know in society that we are not monsters.
Oh,
We,
no.
for one brief second, we had lost our mind. We went insane.
Yeah, bad
You know,
decision.
but we came back. That one bad decision cost us. You know, and some, like I say, everything in creation happens for reasons. I believe that. You know, I went to prison. I'm an ex-lifer myself. I went to prison for 27 years and 9 months. You know, I went in prison. I was a monster. I went in and did the metamorphosis. I did the complete change. Today, I don't do wrong in no kind of way. You can't trick me with somebody else's brain to do wrong.
Right, right.
It's not going to happen.
Right.
You see, so I became Muslim in 1988. I took my shahada, you know, and from that day to this day, I don't do wrong. I choose not to, okay, because there's other things in this life that Allah want me to do, right? And I'm serving them till the day they put me in that tomb and put that rock behind me and stand me up on the side. I'm gonna serve them till I go.
Right.
That's my job. That's my duty.
Right. Fulfill your mission.
Exactly. So we are all put here for a reason. We have to find out what our reasons are.
Right.
You know, I know what mine is now. Mine is to serve, and that's what I do every day. I serve. You know, so we have reason to be here, and we wanna talk to the audience. We want to tell the audience that we want to come back into this world. And we want to make a difference. You know, for whatever crime we went to prison for, we did that. There's nothing we can do about it. You know, we mourn and we have sympathy for the families. We have we repented. You know, we have the ability to come back into this world and bring our families back together as they should be. But we want the world, we want society to know that the community that we go back into, we want to be part of that community. We want to be law-abiding citizens. We want to pay taxes. We want to pay bills. We want to be about this society, not that the society in there. If we can go back to help those inside, that's what we do. But we want to leave when we want to leave. We don't want to stay in there. We want to leave when we want to leave. And we want to go back and we want to tell people that it can't be done. You know, in living color, it can't be done. We're doing it. You know, we're making it happen for the best, for the better. For those that don't know, we're going to give it to you in the best form that we can. You know, I always tell people we got the finest canvas, we got the finest paints, and we're going to paint it the way it should be painted. You know, Allah gave us a gift of knowledge, and we're using the knowledge the best we know how to do, and we're doing this every day of our lives. So we want to thank the brothers and the sisters for being here today. We want to thank you for coming, and we might call on you again.
Okay,
The
thank
audience
you.
call for you. We want you to come back.
Thank you.
Please come back.
And in closing, I'd like to just say successes with Allah.
Yes, without a doubt. Yes. So thank you. In closing, we want to give thanks to Allah again for allowing this to happen, and we want to continue as long as it's allowed to happen. So you all have a good evening, and we'll see you next week at 7 o'clock on the show, on the Wendell Elamine James Show. Thank you, and have a good evening.
Can I do a commercial?